Welcome to another Small Business Saturday. Today we are going to talk to a nonprofit business. I'm with Mary Siafi. She is the president of the Pine Nuts Wild Horse Advocates. Mary, what does this organization do?
Our goal and our mission statement is to protect the wild horses in the Pine Nut Mountains in Douglas County, behind Fish Springs. Very
worthy goal. How do you go about doing it?
Well, we have a whole team. You'd be amazed at how many volunteers we have, always looking for some more. We provide water so that the local residents don't put water tanks in their backyard, even though we all have to tell you that there is a ton of water in the hills, especially this year.
Can I ask you, why should residents not put water in their backyard?
It brings the horses into the residential areas, and anytime a horse is in your backyard, there's a street in your front yard, and we don't want wild horses on rural roads.
Okay, great. And what else do you guys do?
So we dart them with birth control to keep the population down, because our mission is not just to protect the horses, but to protect the range that they roam on. So we dart all of the mares with birth control. It always goes through the mares because that's the most effective. And we use a birth control called PZP, which is used annually. So they get a booster, a primer initially, and then anytime after 2 weeks they get a booster, and then they get an annual shot. We have reduced the reproduction rate in Fish Springs by 90%.
No, that's really wonderful, and I know that's one of the problems. A lot of the people that complain about the wild horses complain that they multiply so fast and they end up destroying the range. And you guys are doing everything you can to protect that.
We are. We try very hard. If anything happens to our horses, we make sure we call BLM in to assist us. Sometimes they get injured. We try our best to keep them off the road. If a resident calls and says there's horses on any of the roadways, then we call in all our volunteers and we push the horses back on the range where they belong.
So you're doing some really neat things now. You just purchased a bunch of land.
Actually, we worked together with the American Wild Horse Campaign, and they purchased over 3,300 acres. And it was a whole lot of different parcels, including the land that Buckeye Creek goes on. Buckeye Creek comes through and it's all year-round water, so there's a whole bunch of springs. And they purchased a little over 3,300 acres out in the Pine Nuts that are spread across the Pine Nuts to make sure that the horses have water in every direction that they go in.
And that's wonderful. So how do you get your money, or how do you work with these other groups to get them to get involved and help you do all these things?
We work solely on donations. Strangely enough, we seem to get donations from all over the world, which is kind of interesting. But we work solely on donations. One of our big goals is to fence in a part of the terrain to keep the horses out of neighborhoods.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is a big issue nationwide. In fact, I heard about this in 2010. There was a lady who lived in San Diego whose husband was the biggest donor for Oklahoma State. And I'm forgetting her name now, but he was a wealthy guy, and she was all into the wild horses and protected them. And she put a lot of money. I think she bought a lot of land that she was going to herself put the horses in there.
Madeline Pickens.
Wonderful lady.
Yeah, she did one up in Elko. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are very interested in this, and there is a lot of support nationally.
All of the lands that were just purchased were all done by major donors. So we had very large donors that gave us, instead of a lot of little donors, we had very large donors. Our chairman of the county commissioners, Mark Gardner, he said it best. BLM hears from counties everywhere saying we have a wild horse problem, we want you to come in and handle it. And in Douglas County, he told BLM the other day at a meeting, we don't have a problem in Douglas County that we need your help for. So please take your efforts to the other counties that want you and leave Douglas County alone.
Well, that's great. How can the people of Douglas County help your wonderful organization?
It's really important that you don't feed or water wild horses if you live in that area. If you come out to see them, which we love it, because the more people that see them, the more understand what the value is there. And of course, we always take donations because we have 17 miles of fencing to eventually put in. And the Bentley family has been a huge donor of ours, so they just provided us with a water truck because our old one bit the dust.
So how can they donate? There's a website, right?
Thank you. There is a website. Wild Horse Advocates is our website, and wildhorseadvocates@gmail is our email address.
Well, that's wonderful. Mary, thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
work and for your organization work, and I hope the people of Douglas County embrace all the great things you're doing.
Thank you. Come on out and see our horses.